warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about an aspect of Nakshatra, the Ganas. There are 3 Ganas that are associated with the Nakshatras: the Rakshas Gana, the Manushya Gana and the Dev Gana. Today we will take up the Rakshas Gana and one Nakshatra in particular, Jeshta, and see how it works for them. But before that, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your queries, your suggestions and your comments there. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do, and do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. As I said, when we talk about the Ganas, we generally feel that the Rakshas Gana, when you hear somebody say Rakshas Gana, you're like, okay, so this person must be very cruel, very demanding, very strong. Well, you need to look at a side of the mind frame also. The mind frame that comes with it is a very strong mind frame, a very strong willpower to be able to withstand anything that it brings in its wake and just be focused on your goal. It's very important to understand that when a person looks at their goal and thinks about their goals only, then in that case the difficulties that the person encounters appear to be just stepping stones on their way up. If we lose sight of our goals, then we keep looking at the difficulties and they become boulders, they become barriers and obstacles. That's one thing that I have understood from the Rakshas Gana, is that we need to look at it from the point of view of just having a very strong mental mind frame. I will take 2 examples here to prove my point, to make you understand how it works. So, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji has his moon. Moon is his 10th lord placed in the nakshatra of Jeshta. Okay. So, this gives, now Jeshta nakshatra is a very strong nakshatra, a nakshatra which is a warrior class nakshatra, a path breaking, a trailblazer kind of a nakshatra, and the mind frame that is associated, and more so because it's moon placed here. Moon happens to be the 10th lord because the lagna here happens to be Libra, and the 10th lord talks about your career, about your profession. In another video I have said that he is a very emotional person at heart, but also because of the placement of moon in Jeshta, he shows a very determined and a very focused personality. If you look at his interviews on YouTube, you will find that he was very clear that he wanted to establish nuclear empowerment for India, in spite of all that he knew, the sanctions that would come pouring in after that, because we had been asked not to go into that area of nuclear empowerment, but he wanted to empower India on that lines because he wanted us to become developed and he wanted us to become a very strong nation. And he knew that in the coming years that was the only way up. In spite of knowing the hurdles and the tackles one could have, very quietly the entire project was carried on till it was experienced, and there was the Pokhran testing that was done, and that made us a superpower. It is not that he did not feel pangs of anxiety or fear, but he nevertheless relentlessly carried on. There are many things that he had relentlessly done in spite of knowing all that he could, the kind of pressures that he could have, and he was very fearless when it came to letting people know what he thought about them and what was right and what was not. So, this talks about the Jeshta nakshatra and the Rakshas Gana, the mind frame that he had. Let us take up another example on the same lines. The example that I take up for you here is that of Narendra Modi ji. I have always considered his lagna to be that in Scorpio, and for the time and the rectification that I have, it's in 19 degrees 36 minutes in Scorpio, and I find that it is in the nakshatra of Jeshta. The strong stance that he's taken in recent times, be it with the Israel Hamas war, be it with the Russian-Ukrainian war, has been very strongly saying that he has focused on certain issues and he is very straight about those issues in not giving in. Again, look at the Rakshas mentality here. He is not afraid of what other people have to say, not apologetic about it, and neither is he giving in to the mentality of others, of herd mentality, following what others have to say. He has respected the friendship that he's had with Russia and Israel and is ongoingly continuing to stand for them. Moreover, there are certain stands. Why just abroad? He took the stand for 370 and he stayed put on it in spite of a lot of pressure that he felt from outside. Again, as a trailblazer, something nobody had done in the last 75 years. He took 70 years. He took a stand that he would do this, and no matter what opposition he faced, what problems he faced, he would continue to hold his fort there. And that is the reason today that we see that so much has changed because of that focused, unafraid, unapologetic mind frame that he has. Again, I repeat, Jyeshtha as a nakshatra is in itself a very strong nakshatra, but having that Rakshas Gana is so important in this case because it helps a person to stay focused on their path. All the nakshatras are associated with one gun or the other. Please let us know in the comment box which nakshatra and which gun you would like to know, and we'll bring forward examples and its explanation. For more, you can always join my course. Until we meet with you again, stay safe.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.